624 Dudley, good morning. Paul, good morning. Paul, good evening. Stuart, good day. Mark Osborne, good evening. David Ian Sykes, good morning. Guess you can sort of hear me. I'm going to find a chair. This is pretty informal sort of a chat tonight. I don't think there'll be much else happening. There's not really anything to show or do or see. It's a bit sort of all over the show here today. Look, I had to find somewhere to put a steamroller for a couple of weeks, and as a sort of a part of that storage agreement, sort of felt like I had to do my best to find someone to run the roller on Sunday at an open day, a charity day, which we had a good day. Dan from Dan Shed and Ken come down and run the roller all day. Could have done it quite comfortably without me. I really appreciate them turning up. I believe that they were probably in at a garden railway meet on Saturday, and then they come down Sunday morning early, and we actually lit up, and there's a bit of fairly decent brown coal on the place out there, so we sort of fired on that and had a lot of smoke and soot and a fair bit of clinker. But we got steam up pretty easy, and we run most of the morning. The morning was about all any of us had. I went back Tuesday and cleaned up a bit and covered the engine up again, but it was pretty half-hearted as far as a sheeting job. It really wasn't sort of one of the quality sheeting jobs, but we did that. Hey Kevin, was it? Good day. Frank Water, hello. James P, good day. Top speed of the roller, 25's pushing it. I don't think you could possibly steer it on the road at 25. You might. 15 sounds more plausible. Haven't actually measured anything. Probably it wouldn't hurt to get on the road some point and actually get a speedometer or an app or something and find out what it actually is. But I'm suspicious that 15 might pull it up. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, so I guess the big thing that's happening this month is Rough Cut 2022, which is just the 14th. You've got about 15 days, something like that. Gosh, 15 or 16 days. I'm sure you're all ready to go. Some of you might even actually have a video in time. My life's turned upside down again, and I feel like I regret actually starting this thing because I'm going to have to finish it. So I'm going to have to make a video. And I had several ideas, some good ideas, but if Alistair, good morning. If I get Rough Cut 2022 video out, it'll be My For Boys Bandsaw. It's like a pretty awesome sort of a project. There's not much to it, and realistically in a day you would finish it. I would really like to finish it in a couple of nights, but we'll see how we go. Then we're going to edit some video. I don't really have a couple of nights before I pack this workshop up and put in storage or whatever's going to happen. So we'll see how we go. But basically it's a matter of machining the bottom. which is probably it's easy to do it on a bandsaw or on a linisher nearly. But set him up somehow and machine the bottom. Machine this one parallel. 2 holes in here. And 3 holes in here to screw it down. And 2 holes in here to screw the table on. That's that finished. The table's just a bit of square 0.8 mile steel, 52 by 52, 2 inches by 2 inches with a cut in it, and 2 holes to bolt on here. That's done. Then there's a couple of 3D printed pulleys and a couple of bolts. There's a bolt going here and a bolt goes in here. The top shaft looks like this, with a brass bush. And the bottom shaft looks like this, with a pulley on one side and the drive pulley on the other side, or the drive pulley on here for the belt. So, fun little project. Probably run it on Myford Boy's engine eventually, but there we go. I hear you about the work thing, Alistair. Good to see you though. Tracking adjustment on the wheels, no, there's none of that sort of thing much. How hard it can it be though? We'll see how we go with this. Look, honestly, I've got a full week. The next 10 days, something like that, is borderline crazy, and I can't see it getting any better anytime soon, to be honest. Movements this week. Look, I'm drawing an absolute blank on finding somewhere to move to. Like there is nowhere. It's the Gold Coast. There's a rental crisis. There's nothing. There's not even places to buy, let alone rent. As far as commercial go, there's probably 1 or 2 around, and I've applied for a couple, but it's not that easy. It's not even very good storage around, you know. You can't even, like, big block storage is full. And I'm at the point that I probably find a van to live in and a park with some amenities. That's probably not a difficult thing. And do what everyone else on the Gold Coast does and put everything in storage for 6 months until it all sort of sorts itself out. But I don't think it's going to sort itself out. Hey, Fridge. I don't know what to do, really. I'm sort of drawing a blank on that. Got a landlord here who's basically lost touch with reality. Say some fairly sort of unsavoury things about it, to be honest. But she needs a lesson in tough love to realise what the real world's doing. Not that impressed about that. But anyway, that's not really the time or place to have a talk about that. Trouble is, I've got to get to work. That's an issue. There is a campground at our Vintage Machinery Club with reasonable amenities. So they do have reasonable amenities. And that's probably an option at some point. Got a key for that, so you probably sneak in every morning and have a shower. But I'm really not feeling like doing that. I'm feeling a bit old for that. Maybe I get used to it pretty quick. But right now, I don't know, do we have a garage sale, or do we put stuff in storage, or do we start again at some point, or do we... I don't know what you do. I really don't know. Storage is nearly as expensive as rent. And as far as having a shed space that you could actually kind of put a van in, or have a bed in, or it's got a shower and a bathroom, it's kind of few and far between, really. So that's me just thinking out loud, but I really haven't got a clue, to be honest, what I'm going to do after the end of the month. I guess I've got to find out soon. It's going to take me a week to pile all this in storage if that's what I'm going to do. But Monday or Tuesday I should have a vehicle, and probably will be a van with a moon. I can throw a mattress in the back of that if I've got to. But there's nothing, there's really nothing. So, I mean, yes, you could find a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom flat on the 4th or 5th floor in the city for $500 a week, something like that. I guess I'm not as invested in my $500 a week in luxury living to do that as I should be. Hey, Randy. I really can't. I miss my workshop if I do pack it up, but I guess it's something we've got to do if we've got to do it. But realistically, I don't want a 4th floor flat in a high-rise complex in Surfers Paradise for 2 weeks, for 2 years, if that's the contract I've got to sign. Not really about appearances or keeping up with the Joneses or having nice things to live. This is pretty nice, and I'm annoyed that I've got to leave, but that's how it is, I guess. It's probably best to happen now than to happen again in 12 months. But yeah, Gold Coast real estate is not good. And there's some good places 2 hours out of the country, or 3 hours out of the city. Rural New South Wales, there's some good places. Rural Queensland, there's some good places. There is no work. So do I change jobs? Do I go and find myself a job in northern New South Wales, somewhere in the country? Move to Dubbo or New England or somewhere like that, or move to Toowoomba, or Toowoomba's not much better. There are probably jobs out that way. I don't know. I guess there's jobs out that way. I don't know what they pay. Probably if they only pay what I'm getting now, which is hardly enough. Do like my job though. If they only pay that much, well, it probably makes everything a little bit more affordable as far as rent and stuff. But then there's travel, and so I don't know. I'm really sorry to drop this on everyone, but that's what's going through my head at the moment. Looking at all this stuff here, and stuff needs to be put away. At least it's a little bit more set up than it was when I moved in here, so it's a bit easier to pack up, I think. Everything's a little bit more transportable. If I've got somewhere or some storage or something, I guess I just pay for some storage and pack everything up. I reckon a week I could get out of here pretty comfortably. So 22nd, next week's a public holiday on the Thursday Australia-wide, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday has really got to be moving the roller down to Dan's. That's all pretty well organised, I think, I hope. And then Tuesday and Wednesday I've got to be moving, and whatever I can do overnight and the weekend after that. So that's where we're at. I haven't got a clue. But by the time we get through to next week, there's going to be some crap happened, I would hope. Just don't know where or what or why. And you look at storage, there's no cheap option. Even a bit of hard stand in a shipping container isn't cheap. Hard stand rental on the Gold Coast has gone, concrete slab rental on the Gold Coast has gone through the roof. Like, they're putting it in everywhere. And none of it's affordable. And if you just got a truck to sit there, it's expensive. You've got to be making a lot more money on the truck than just the truck to be able to do that. So there is no easy way. Anyway, I guess everyone's sort of still there, but I sort of had a whinge about that. Anyway, probably all dropped out now, have you? It says there's 14 people still there. We're 17 minutes in. Don't know how long we're going to go here tonight. Not sure there's much else to really talk about. There's things that I need to do and things that I would have liked to have had done by now. Like there's a big jigsaw here that I would like to have been set up to that by now. I haven't had time to even look at it. I would have liked to have that canopy ready to go on the roller if things had turned out differently. That was the plan, is to have it sort of ready to go on the roller by the end of the week. This weekend would have been reassembly and put it back together probably. I probably could have had it assembled, but if I assemble the canopy now, I've got to move it, and that's a pretty big lump of a thing, so at this point I'm not going to. There we go. Going to leave it in bits, and then it's much easier to stick in a van or whatever needs to be done, and put in storage or whatever we need to do for however long we need to do it. I'm hoping it's not 6 months, but I could still keep looking. But storage is going to bleed me dry a bit. Stick some clothes and a mattress and a bit of stuff in the back of a van if I've got to. And make that work for a little while. At least that way I'm not paying any rent. Anyway, everyone's gone quiet. What's everyone else up to? Who's had a video out this week? Thanks, Dan. Hey, Peter Noddle. Kevin uploaded one a week or so ago. It's excellent. No video from Dan. 624 has been watching Curtis at Cutting Edge Engineering. There's a lot of worse ways to spend your time. Dan's painted more of his Ferguson. Paul's hoping to get back in the workshop. Alistair's got no video this week, but that's awesome. James B had 2 not very good videos. That's excellent. Frank Ward's cargo van is running. That's cool. That's awesome. Don't know why, for some reason, that live chat cuts out. I don't know why that is. A bit of a nuisance. So, I mean, I could work till midnight tonight. I've got to get up at 7 o'clock again in the morning, though. I've got to be out of here at 7. For a driving lesson in the truck. So, I've gone at 7, be at work by about 8, at 8:15. And day at work tomorrow, it's Thursday. Get home, I might make a bit of a start on this. So, Friday's rent day. I've got to send her a message tomorrow and say, hey, look, we better have some rent receipts. Be fairly. I think that'll probably piss her off a bit, because I think she was hoping to get away without too many rent receipts, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to need some receipts to rent anything, so I've paid every week without fail. There's been no issues here. I was just more money sometimes than I could really afford, but I've dropped it in every week, and every fortnight I've paid solid and strong. The couple of times that we've had a public holiday or whatever, and I've been a day late, and I've texted or talked to them about it and put it in the bank. I haven't been particularly happy, but I've never been a week late. Morning, Stephen Lang. Stuart's still giving up smoking. That's awesome. Journeyman Randy's dying for a coffee. Just got a text message from someone. Yeah, don't send me, Dan, don't send me pictures like that. I don't want pictures like that. But it's understandable because it is a Marshall, so you get that. There's picture of a roller with a broken headstock, which is where rollers break. They're a bit fragile there. So we'll try not to get into that situation, but there you go. Look, it's probably, Kevin, it's probably easy to think it probably does, but I think it's something that was coming anyway, and I think she genuinely does need the space for her stuff because she's downsizing too. So it's probably best to have it sorted and out of the way quicker, sooner rather than later, I guess, it's in some ways. But another month to work it out would have been really nice. Anyway. That'd be awesome, James. Loading docks and three-phase power, 70k or a year. What is that? Well, it's about $4,000 a month. $4,500 a month. That's a fair bit of money. Yeah, I don't know how that works, Paul. We'll have a talk about some tax fraud, I think, when we're all out of here, but up until that point, we'll try and be nice. That's probably a fair point. I've got a phone call coming in. I'm going to grab that. Sorry, guys. Just talk amongst yourselves. Hey, TJ. No, not yet. Yes. I'm working tomorrow. No, not really, no. No, well, you get me back here at 8 o'clock. You get me back here at 8 o'clock. If we're back here at 8 o'clock, we can still make that work. Well, if you want to do it that way. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. I've got to work all day. No, there's no time in between. Yeah, no worries at all. 7:30. What about 7:30? Oh, sorry, what about 6:30? I will see you then. 7:15. Thanks, TJ. Thanks for your call. Sorry, guys. That's my driving instructor in the morning. Reshuffling. I wish he wouldn't. I wish he'd just pencil it in and get it right and not worry too much about anyone else. You've got my booking, you can stick to it. Anyway, we'll sort it out. Irish birthday card. 70k, James. I probably nearly jump on that. If I had something here at 70k in a decent shop, with or without power, even 70k is pretty cheap. 70k here probably buys a 3 by 3 metre shed somewhere. So, yeah, my driving instructor in the morning, it has to be quarter of an hour earlier because I need to get up a quarter of an hour earlier in the morning. That's obviously an important thing for me to do. Anyway, we'll be out of here at 7:15 in the morning. Not a big deal to me. I'm usually out of here by about 7:15, so it's not a great leap. Um, both are accepted spelling. That's awesome. What else? What come in the mail? Not very much, actually. Not very much. When am I learning to drive? The heavy rigid core test in the a heavy rigid lesson in the morning. I'm not really learning to drive. I'm having a refresher, so I passed my test. I think any of you sat down and did a driving test, you may find that you struggle with it a bit, and I certainly am. It's a fairly challenging thing to pass a driving test as a 45-year-old, and because for circumstances that I didn't really control particularly well, that's what's got to happen. So I sit my truck test next Tuesday. Mark, excellent. What are the V-bike castings like? Let's have a look. Sure to wear your turban, you'll pass easy. That's awesome. Hey, Mike from Cornwall, good day. Let's have a look at them. I meant to bring them downstairs. Go on, I'll get them. Yeah, here we go, I'm back. What are we using as a blade? Tristan O'Brien, what are we using as a blade? On the bandsaw, is that what we're talking about? Good question. I think it's got a rubber tooth belt, something like that, rubber band. These were in an Australian group on Facebook. It's a guy who's a blacksmith and does a lot of nice work. If you go and have a look at his page, I haven't got a link to it, but he does a lot of nice blacksmith work, hammers and axes and cutting tools, things like that. Some really nice things. Anyway, he had this length of brake press die, which I guess is what this is. Question 4. Effective moose calls. Yeah, I don't know about that. This is a brake press die, bottom die or top die or something like that of a brake press, and he had a length of it. And he chopped them up. He says they had blanks for V blocks, which kind of work okay. And they're probably plenty good enough as they are, nearly for a lot of work. But they could do with the cleanup and a bit of a machine. And I thought, well, that's an interesting project. It's probably too good to sort of leave. And they weren't very expensive, so I got in his Etsy store and I bought a couple of them. And he posted them and they come. So They look all right, probably. I don't think they're particularly hard. We ought to have a look and test them. Has anyone got any even the slightest clue where my hardness tester files are? I reckon they're put away. Yeah, they're not put away where I thought they were put away, which is a peculiar circumstance. Yeah, no idea. So you're not going to get that information down to me tonight? So they're probably, honestly, with the two of them, they're probably not a very difficult thing to set up and machine. I mean, I don't know if that's any good or that's how you do it even. But if you got one of them right and squared them up, they're probably not a particularly difficult thing to set up and machine the rest of them. Right? Three sides there, and the other one there, and then do the other way. That's just a thought. I don't know if that's accurate enough or how that's going to work, but they're probably, if you've got two of them that look like that, they're not very difficult to machine. That's some thoughts. So yeah, probably a fun grinding project too. I mean, they would grind up all right too, but they're probably only going to get machined. Tyres for Dan's Fergie. Dan can't wait to see. Some cheese cutters come. Oh gosh. I imagine they're Chinese, are they? I don't know where they're made. Let's have a look. Maximum load is 715 pounds, which is 325 kilos. So 700 kilos of the bear, I guess. It's about the front of a tractor. They're sort of, let's have a look at that. Can you actually see that? They're fairly skinny profile. Dan's decided he needs a Ferguson tractor. They're 40019s. Hope that's what you ordered. And they're D-stone, which I wonder where they're made. It's got a thing here that says we probably need a tube or no, maximum something. Not on tube type. Not for highway service. There's 325 kilograms at 52 psi. Cold. So one of them, I guess, has got the same information on the other side. Yeah, pretty much. So they're D-stone, made in Thailand. They're probably all right. They look like pretty good tyres, man. Pretty skinny, but they'll look good on the front of the Fergie. And there's a couple of tubes for them too, so you're all ready to go. You don't even have to fix the rims. Just a bit of plaster bandage and some water, run them around there nice and tight. And while it's wet, you stick a bit of duct tape on top to hold it all in place and keep it in shape, and then you peel the double duct tape off afterwards. And job's done. You've got a Get new front tyres. You got a couple of tubes as well, which look something like that. Pretty. Basically, they're just tubes. They're tyres for you. Tyre and Tube Australia, quality tubes, made in Korea. So there we go. I hope you didn't do the plaster bandage thing, Dan. I hope it was a little bit better than that. But yeah, duct tape and fiberglass is probably as good as anything. As long as you paint over the top of it, you can't see it from the outside. So they're here anyway. I'll bring them down, or I'll stick them on the back of the roller when it comes, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's something else that's happened this week, because they arrived Monday. I think they arrived Monday. Tuesday. They must have arrived Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday, because I was out most of yesterday. Chasing real estate agents and things like that yesterday was most of my day. Driving lesson first thing, and then chased around after a real estate agent for hours and went all over the Gold Coast looking. And I thought I'd call into Pacific Fair and pick up a decent insert bag that I've been looking for my Rains backpack for ages, because I know there was a Rains seller there. Anyway, they haven't sold them for 12 months, so that was a waste of an hour. And then got back home, and my next door neighbour's bought a new Prusa Mini 3D printer, so we needed to set that up for him properly. He's been playing with it and he's getting on okay with it, but it needed to be. It really, his Z distance wasn't exactly what it should have been, so we fixed that. And then, yeah, had a bit of a clean up and put some stuff in boxes and went to bed. That's kind of my Tuesday, and I guess Sunday won't be far off it. Stay off the roads at the Gold Coast in the morning. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's sort of 6:45. It'll be early enough that there won't be too many issues. Earlier the better for me. I really am not a big fan of the 8 till 9 thing. Is really don't get out on the roads between 8 and 9. That's why I've got a scooter. So either or. We'll get to work. I might use him up. I've got a heap of recycling to take in. I've got 3 bags of cans and things. And collect it up, so I might take them in and cash them as well in the morning. Apart from that, I'm not a bad driver. I think I've just got some really stupid bad habits that I've got to break up. I mean, I think anyone who drives for any period of time in their life picks them up. You know, things like putting your hand through the steering wheel, and the other thing too is that the last car I owned was quite some time ago, and especially the last truck I drove was some time ago, and I can't ever remember driving a truck that actually idled. You could brake to a stop in second gear without stalling it, you know. This is not one of those things that happen. So you've got to learn to not actually stick it back a gear and let the clutch out and use the gears to stop you. You're supposed to use your brake to stop you and then change gears. It's all a bit strange, but anyway, I'm learning. The Reality Ender comes with Gremlins pre-installed. Yeah, I'm impressed that Chris bought bought a Prusa because he was looking at a heap of them and said to me, I said, look, there's only one thing and it's got 5 letters and it starts with B. Don't mess with anything else. And I am a bit sort of one-eyed about that because honestly, my 3D, anyone who knows or can remember my 3D printing experience has kind of changed when I bought that. You plug the thing in and it works. And it works consistently and it keeps working. The other 3D printers that I've owned previously, they were sort of, the hobby was getting the 3D printers working. Here's the road, the whole road and the nature strip either side of the road, yeah. Anyway, we'll see how that works. That's tomorrow. I might have mentioned I did a really crap sheeting job on the roller. Very, very poor sheeting job in a gale force wind on top of a hill on my own. Really wasn't all that impressed. And probably I could either put my head in the sand and ignore it and hope it doesn't blow off, or I could go out and have another look and do it again, which is the smart thing to do, but I don't think that's going to happen either. If I go out, it'll be one night in the dark and do it again, but we'll see. Yeah, there's actually a Facebook group called Sheeted Steam, which in some way fascinates me and in some way amuses me, actually. There's actually a Facebook group called Sheeted Steam, which is actually pictures. It doesn't seem to be a lot of other constructive comment, but there's pictures of steam engines with tarps over them, which makes you wonder about life. But anyway, it's what makes some people tick. It's certainly what makes me tick. Nice sheet job is awesome, but this wasn't it. Very, very ordinary. If you want to see a lot of pictures of traction engines and rollers with canvas over them, Sheeted Steam is a Facebook group. It's worth a look. Apart from that, I've got a couple of little lathe jobs to do for work. I actually busted the crown on my good watch, which is a bit sad, actually. It's a little bit tragic, but I've got to fix that yet. It's not a big deal, and probably I could come down tonight and do it after the live stream, but it's all a bit, yeah, it's a bit fiddly. It really, it's a 0.9 thread in the middle of it, and it really needs drilling out and the thread extracting. And I've got to be awake to do that crap. Freshly loaded bed linen. Anyway, I've got to fix the Bell and Ross at some point before I put the lathe away. So kind of, at the moment, I'm wearing a Casio. How awesome is that? Very good watch. Plastic screen, all scratched up already. Plastic band. Not an expensive watch, but if you're looking for a good watch that'll go forever, I kid you not, you kind of can't do better than one of them. Thanks, Tristan. We'll sort it out, but it's just a matter of getting stuff sorted. And hopefully things will come right. That's what I'm at. Roller's taken care of. My sleeping arrangements are probably, as of next week, taken care of if push comes to shove. And it's just workshop stuff that needs to go into storage, and there's not even a lot of that. If we break the benches down and stick it all in the ute, we can take it down to the storage unit if we got to for a few weeks or a month or whatever. And I can have a holiday from the workshop, which I kind of not spend enough time in here anyway, but we'll see how we go. That's where we're at. So there's been very much to look at. Tonight, not any really exciting stuff. We've got 2 V blocks, which may or may not ever get finished. Might give them away to someone even. Sort of. We'll work something out. It doesn't matter if I don't ever finish them, but they're probably a fairly simple little project to do with a good mill. Someone's down at Bob's dropping off a parcel for him to do in the morning. Yeah, packed in containers for 6 months is not really a situation that I want to be part of, but I don't know. What do? Do I pack up and start looking for a job somewhere else? Start looking for a job in the country? Move down, get established, and then send for the rest of the gear? Is that what you do? It's getting to the point that the Gold Coast is not earning enough to live. That's where we're at with it. So I think I'm going to have to start looking around and get off my backside and find somewhere to find a job that's going to... It might mean a career change, but find something that's going to last and something I can do and something I can stick to for a bit, and move to the job. Find a place and send for a truck with all this stuff on it. Don't know. It's 2 doors along. Bob's not a bad bloke. He's the guy who goes to auctions and buys stuff, and then people get upset about it in the car park. So I'm not alone with that. Yeah, I don't know about the fly in, fly out thing or anything like that. That sounds like hard work. But yeah, taxes and rent and stuff is yeah. I don't know whether a letter bomb's really something I want to get away with just yet. I might wait until I've disappeared. But yeah, John next door probably sort of deserves something. He needs something that probably gives him cause to remember occasionally that being a nice person doesn't pay. But I've got ideas about that. We won't discuss them on live though. Sorry. Got ideas about that. Anyway, that's kind of what's happening. We managed to get through 55 minutes of this dribble without actually tearing up or crying or running out of things to say. So I apologise for the dreary content tonight. It hasn't been really inspiring, I don't think. But you've got 14 days, 15 days or something till the 1st, which is Rough Cuts 2022. Hashtag Rough Cut 2022. Have a video in it or be square, basically. Look forward to watching all your videos anyway. And I'm going to try pretty hard to have one. I reckon I can still do it. Reckon I can still fit it in. So that's something that I've got to do. But I'm not going to do anything tonight because I've got to be up early in the morning. Be out of here by 6:45. So that's all right. It suits me fine. And I can go and sit at work and have breakfast for an hour before we start or whatever. And there's a few jobs to do. I left a bit of a list tonight, jobs to do in the morning, so that'd be good to get them done too before we start. Anyway, hope it does work out, Randy. I'm really not feeling confident about it tonight, but we'll see how we go. I'll still keep looking. Something will work out. But moving to a different place in Australia is probably on the cards at this point. And now's probably a good time to do it while I've probably got a little bit of leftover cash to do it. Hey Paul, good to see ya. Some good videos coming from Paul's workshop. A lot of good Instagram content and a lot of cool stuff he's doing. Anyway, with that, I'm probably going to call this and say, we're done for the night. It might be an opportunity. We'll have to have a think about that. Having a look at job sites and things the last couple of days in all my spare time. We'll see what we can find, and if I do find something, I'm just going to stick stuff in storage and move on. I have a talk to my boss at work too, because I kind of feel a bit like I owe him something too, so I really don't want to just up and leave. Give him an opportunity to sort stuff out. Anyway. Don't admit to it till after the fact, Peter, after the fact. Anyway, I'm out. Take care, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. I really appreciate anyone who's joined in who's brand new. We're usually not this upset or unhappy or anything else. We're usually pretty upbeat. So really appreciate you joining in. Check out the Discord channel, Spare Room Machine Shop too, if you've got nothing else to do. They seem to be chatting away to themselves pretty nicely without me at the moment, but I've been busy this week and I'm sorry. Anyway, be kind to each other and more soon, guys. I'm out.